I'm live. I'm riding here with the Weapons Junkie, and we're on our way back from Iraq veteran 88, 88, 88, 88, 88, 88, 88, 88, 80. And we're just shooting it, and he's talking mad story, and I'm like, man, I don't know how much internet reception we have, but this needs to be shared. So right now he's telling me about when he met John Willis at SOE, and he's talking about how that connection all happened, and when he first got up there, how long they thought he was gay. So I want to just he can talk about whatever he wants to talk about, but I'm going to turn it over to him. He's driving, so I'm going to be the video guy. I got to figure out how to turn this sucker around. All right, so this is the Weapons Junkie driving. We're in the tactical Honda. We're in the tactical Honda, and he's doing it. So I'm gonna scoot back this chair so you guys can get a better view. All right, and tell us, start back where you were, bro.
How did it start? You said, hey, when you first met James or took a class.
No, you were okay. So
you said, were you scared?
So you were talking about like how you'd watched all these videos before you ever went out to tactical response, and he said, well, actually, I knew. All right, guys, so I'm on here with Weapons Junkie. I just got kicked off. We're going to try again, but we're riding down the road on the way back from Iraq veteran 88, 88. We're in the tactical Honda, and he's talking story, and I'm like, this is public. You need to not just be sharing this with me. You need to be sharing this with everybody. So I'm going to set it up because we were just talking about it. I'm going to switch it over onto him, but I think what we were talking about was he's talking about when he first went out to tactical response and how he'd watched every video that he could find that Jaeger was in. And I asked him if he was self-conscious about it or if he was worried about it. He's like, no, I'd already met James because he'd already made friends with John Willis at SOE. I'm like, really? How was that? And so he started telling this story, and it's hilarious, man. But basically, bottom line is they all thought he was gay for a real long time, which wouldn't be funny if he was, but because he's not, it's a trip. So go for it, man.
So yeah, I used to watch James's videos, and then I saw this guy John Willis, and I'm like,
just drive him.
Who was that? And saw his gear. I was like, oh, I like this. This is before John really got heavy into making videos. And so I bought some of his gear, and he started making videos. I followed him. I'm like, man, I need to meet that guy. I like him. And it was Blade Show like 6-7 years ago. My buddy invited me to go. It was in Atlanta. I'm like, man, I carry a $20 pocket knife. I don't want to go. Well, I saw SOE was setting up a booth. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to go. I want to meet them. And watching all of John's videos, I saw that people always sent him stuff. Well, I work in the hair industry, and one day on one of his videos, I heard him say something about his wife Amanda cutting all the guys' hairs at the shop because she was a hairdresser. I'm like, oh, cool. There's a connection there. Well, fast forward, Blade Show's coming. I used to manufacture hair shears and some other stuff. While putting together a little care package for Amanda, went down to Blade Show, introduced myself, gave her these custom shears, and she was stoked. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And her and I just instantly connected. Well, then she showed John, and he came and talked, and again, we instantly connected. And so, we became, social media friends and
social media compadres.
And then started texting and stuff, and I would order stuff. Amanda would, send me a note back or, refund my order and still send it. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. So they were having a party, one of the first parties, and they invited me up. So my buddy, we're both in the hair industry. We both, back then wore blazers all the time, velvet. I used to color my hair black, wear earrings.
Velvet Blazers.
Velvet Blazers. So
Okay.
we roll up to the party. I mean, we're dressed in all black. We've got blazers on. Everybody's in tactical gear and t-shirts, and I'm a hugger, so I'm going around hugging everybody, introducing myself. Some people had, you know, heard about me through, you know, some mutual friends. And
at this point, had they heard about you like, this is our gay friend Jody, or like?
I'm not so sure. You could ask Cheddar Bob, because he said, we thought Jody was gay for like 4 years. And it wasn't 4 years. So Amanda, like, realized, she tells me this later, she said, I thought that was the nicest gay guy I've ever met at this blade show. But then once we became tight in person, she was like, wait a second, he's not gay. Not that they care.
But
right?
you are nice, and
Right.
and not that there aren't
And I'm
lots
a
of
hugger,
not that there aren't
and,
lots of nice gay guys out there. That's not what the
and
point.
I'm in the
but-
hair industry.
Sure.
So automatically. When I took my buddy up there too, and he's, you know, they thought we were partners.
Sure.
And
you never like thought about that, like, hey, I'm gonna.
No, I never even thought about it. Like, it just wasn't. And everybody was so friendly, like they always are, regardless. And I was like, man, I like this clique, this family atmosphere. And
But nobody else has a velvet blazer on.
yeah, so Cheddar tells the stories like first time I met him, he had a purple velvet blazer, had earrings, and his hair was
Sure.
jet black, and you know, he looked like a Backstreet Boy or whatever. And so,
More like NSYNC, but
and I walk up and he's like, he has a shirt that says, I'm not gay, but $25 is $25.
oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I like that shirt. And I hug him, and he's like, oh, okay. You know, he kind of backs up. And so this is like a year later, we all link up to take a shotgun class in tactical response. So it's me and my boy Ryder, who's not far from me. We drive up to Camden. We get Cheddar Bob, Frenchie, and a couple other people. We all commit to meet there and take a class. At this point, like, some people are, they're for sure know that I'm not gay just because I'm in their business, but they're not, and some aren't. So we're going down the road.
By the way, we're not teaching you how to drive this way.
Right.
He
sorry.
talks with his hands.
I
And
can't
I should be driving right now, but then I probably should be videoing. So whatever, go ahead, do your thing.
And I'm not trying to put my boy on blast, but so Ryder and I are talking, and I'm talking about my past when, you know, I should have been on a better path, a lot more behaved. But I'm like, yeah, me and my boy Aubrey, we used to like go and get all the girls and have a good time. And he's like, whoa, wait a second. He stops me, and he's like, so, well, you know that people thought you and Aubrey were together, right? I'm like, really? And he's like, well, I know that you're not gay, but like, Aubrey, so Aubrey's not gay? Because Aubrey's like the coolest, like, metrosexual, dresses to the nines.
Sure.
He's a stage artist, you know. He's very polite, and, you know, I'm like, nah, man, dude, nah, we're boys. We've went to the, you know, to the clubs and done
Sure.
this and that. And he's like, he's flabbergasted. He's like, oh my God. So, end of class day one, Tim's asking, hey, what name one thing you learned? And Cheddar Bob's like, I learned Jody and Aubrey aren't partners. They're not like gay. And he's like, bullshit. You know? So anyway, it was funny. And,
Yeah.
everybody's like, well, we still loved you when we thought you were, and we didn't care. But now we missed all the boxes. We thought we had
Yeah.
gay couple.
They're actually disappointed to find it. Yeah.
They're like, man, we were so diverse with y'all.
Right.
And now that y'all are straight men, like, the diversity's gone. So Cheddar tells it better. I'm sorry.
Do you think they're convinced? Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not sure. Whatever.
All right. Well, we'll kick it out there. If he's calling him Cheddar Bob, but if you guys have not yet followed
Shady Homesteader.
The Shady Homesteader.
Iron Unicorn Apparel.
Yeah, Shady Homesteader. You need to get on since we're on YouTube right now, you need to get on and go subscribe to the Shady Homesteader right now, because it's legit information, and all of us need more freeze-dried food in our lives, apparently. So get on it. Get on it right now. Go. You want to say anything about Iraq veteran?
No,
I mean, other than thank you to.
This was fun. I'm glad we got to hang out.
Yeah.
And we've had some deep conversations.
What do you, man? You guys keep putting it out there like that. We have not had any deep conversations.
Well, we had a great time. If you don't know who No Other Choice Kevin Dixie is,
Yeah.
go look him up. Great trainer. Really.
Now he brought some deep conversations.
Yeah,
that was all right.
It was
All
amazing.
right. I stand corrected.
Yeah, we sat there at lunch, and we would have scared a lot of people that we were all there together.
Yeah.
It goes against what society's trying to.
Every stereotype was being broken down in our conversation. So
Exactly.
that's and nobody was like parsing their words. They're just like talking straight, and people were wrong and people were right, and it was all good because there was respect.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway, there needs to be more of that.
How did you enjoy the shoot, range day?
Man, I'll circle it around. It was fun, man. I had a great time. I don't think that I've ever shot full auto before, and I wasn't really even planning on it. I don't know why I haven't. I've had opportunities, and for some reason I've just been focused on something else, whether it's been riding. And if you drive, I'd be able to hold this thing still.
Yeah,
So I did. I shot full auto, which was cool, and I definitely need to lean into that a little bit more. I'll show you the video later, but it was a good time. There's some product that I'm actually really interested in. I won't put all that in right now, but there's some new stuff coming out that
there's some.
It was cool to see Dave Biggers.
Dave Biggers, Carson Baldry.
Yeah.
Was there helping him. Dave's with the SDS Imports now.
Yeah, it was cool to see VSO, Curtis over at VSO, a bunch of different people. Like, it was cool to see people.
A lot of alumni.
A lot of tactical response folks out there.
Really cool.
And it was about the only thing that I know of that, like, somebody down the way from me, I could see them pointing at the logo and saying, "Hey," and I didn't know it was American Gun Chain.
Oh, Brickell and Joe, American Gun Chain.
And they're like pointing that out, and it's like across the way, people that had connected, that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that family thing was like people were seeking other people that were part of that tribe out, which was cool to see. I'm sure that exists in other places. We had other connections with people that were there, and that's all great. But it's cool to see like that shady whatever. People would be like, they'd fist bump you and be like, "Glad to see you're part of the mafia, man," or whatever. You know, it's just a good thing. Had some good conversations today. I don't know. I thought it was great. You know, I'm kind of always paying attention to what's new and what the gear kind of situation is going to be like. But actually, I think there's some more valuable human interest stories. There were some things that I'm kind of interested in writing about today that are that even are way transcend gear, like way cooler than stuff. There's plenty cool stuff out there. What did you think of those? I haven't played around with them yet. What did you think of those bags? What is it? Savior or Savior?
Savior, Savior. That's what caught my attention. I was like, Savior?
Yeah. So
he showed me one. It looked really cool. It was kind of a
I think I'm
rifle bag with a Vertex spin to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna check out one of their 30-inch bags, and I'm gonna play around with that. I'm kind of excited about some of the. They're gonna come out with some stuff that's actually geared towards violins. My wife plays a cello and stuff, and so there's stuff that's like even dual purpose that you could have a gun in, and it would. So I think that's kind of an interesting take. You know, good for TSA. I don't know. It's worth checking out. I thought that M4. Not M4. What am I talking? The Benelli.
Oh yeah, it was like the Benelli.
The Turkish clone.
Yeah.
The SDS is. is coming out with. I thought that's really interesting.
Yep. That's probably the only way I can afford a Benelli.
Oh, you can afford whatever, but it's like it's
$2,000 is hard to buy it all for a shotgun.
well, yeah, it's about what is this purpose and what does it feel and what value does that have to me.
Right.
You know, so like if you're running Mossbergs or you're running, it's hard to argue for moving into semi-auto unless that's reliable.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, if you're gonna, especially if you're like you and maybe like me that is gonna do like multiples, you know, like it's interesting, you know. So, but something like that, something in that sub $1,000 price point, I think they're currently in the 7 to mid 7s. I mean, that's
not bad.
that's a really reasonable, you know, spot.
Yeah, a lot of cool pistols too.
Yeah, yeah, the 1911s were cool.
One cool thing, it was good seeing my boy Chad Enos from Kel-Tec. You guys are going to connect. They've got a cool
maybe
new FN57 type thing.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him
Chad's
a lot.
cool, man.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend to be a huge Kel-Tec fan, but
their innovation. It's not a fighting.
The innovation's great.
Yeah.
That folding thing that I had one of those for. What was that thing called? The sub 2000. And there's a boutique industry that was built up around it. Red Lion had some cool stuff. He's definitely a good guy. I was really encouraged to see some of the tone stuff. I think Taurus is taking a good brand shift, and the people
we met Chan, who said, so he met Yeager a few years ago at SHOT Show. I was part of that fighting Taurus class. There was 10 of us. It was like 10,000 round test. And to segue in, even though I cut him off, sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
What Taurus is doing looks really good. Like, you can tell they've taken, practical steps for a fighting, pistol. Obviously, the influence James has had with those guys, and
a bunch of those things that I think cutting out the disconnect between Brazil and the U.S. market has been huge. Like they're finally getting what the market demands here translated into the supply side, and that's cool to see. And I think it's been as consistent with. They've done a few media things like what you're talking about with the out of tactical response. But there's been a number of those things that there's been a bump in response to that's given them the influence capital, the relational capital to say, hey, this is what the market demands, and if you'll do it, it'll pay for the retooling and the kind of what you're gonna have to do. So that's cool. I think I like some of what I saw. I shot a silenced 308 from Kimber that I thought was cool. It's very niche, but especially if you're on the hunting or even the sniping side of things, it was a cool gun. It was definitely easy to ring steel at however long what's the farthest on that? Was it out to 200, 300? How long do you think that is?
200 maybe?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just easy to ping, ping, ping. It was, I thought their target version of the 6S, the revolver, was there'll be a cult following around that gun. I mean, that's cool.
I know nothing about Kimber. I know you have a dog named Kimber, so
yeah.
So
I'm not I
don't know Kimber, but I know that's
I'm not a big Kimber guy either. I just honestly, I listed a bunch when it came to naming the dog. I had all the gun company names, and that's the one that Laura was like, that's one that we could name a dog. Yeah. She didn't want Smith. She didn't want Wesson. She didn't want all the stuff that I started with. She didn't want Glock, and I'm like, I wanted her. She was already kind of upset at me for going to
Using a dog.
going to get a new puppy when we had like little kids, and she's like, I've already got babies, you know. So I'm like, dang it, I'm gonna do it.
But yeah, it was fun, man. There's a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Eric and Brandy, man. Brandy,
Man,
is the
what a
woman
phenomenal host.
behind that. Like, thank you, Brandy. I never tell you enough. Like,
Good
I'm
grub
thankful.
too.
Oh yeah, the Cattle Creek. Those dudes are so cool.
Yeah.
It's just
They're like trying to give you as much food as possible. It's like
Right.
it's like the opposite. I'll tell you what today was. Today is what America is
Yeah.
and what America needs to remain.
Yeah.
Like it's the opposite of almost everything that you go and do, where people are trying to like hold back and not be generous and like restrict you and give you a bunch of rules. This was just like, look, if you're not stepping on me, I'm not stepping on you.
Right.
And what can I do to lift you up? What can I do to make you better? How can I help you embrace your freedom? I mean, it was just
I mean, we're in an ammo crunch, and they're letting us shoot their ammo.
Full
machine
auto.
guns.
like, how
Right.
generous is it for you to
Right.
go? Like when nobody's able to get ammo, they're like, we're shooting full auto anyway.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
it's like
It was-
whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That was my worry. I was like, oh, you know, the ammo crunch, it could be tough, and didn't slow it down a bit.
They're like,
Mad
we
minute.
shall not be
Yeah.
moved.
Yeah. I put up a video at Weapons Junkie. It's 50 seconds. Shows you the mad minute, the start of the range.
Yeah, speaking of which,
kickoff.
I'm sure that you already do if you're on my page, but if you don't follow the Weapons Junkie, the big deal in this car, you should be over there following.
all
Weapons
12
Junkie.
subscribers.
Oh yeah, all 12 my.
But yeah, we had a great time, and,
Yeah.
and Eric and Chad and Brandy and just the whole team. And I mean, we didn't realize there was a crap ton of stuff in the bag they gave us. Like,
Oh my goodness.
we got
like-
back in there and we're like, he's like, oh my god, look at all this stuff already. Like,
Yeah, unbelievable.
yeah, it's crazy. Just generous, welcoming, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool people.
The best people.
Yeah.
I'm still convinced that the gun culture represents some of the best people
agree.
that exist in our country. It's not perfect. We have growing to do.
Oh yeah.
But the best people that exist in our country. If you want to know what America is, come to an event like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last but not least, saying
Yeah.
that Tactical Response Alumni Connect, how we all
Yeah.
just went.
Hey, and let's
You know,
let's not forget also Prepared Patriot alumni.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
are connecting in more and more in our area, people that are training and have the same, the same mindset.
Yeah,
We're able to
gonna
connect
get
more
Raquel.
regionally because of
Yep.
this.
We're gonna get Raquel, American Gun Shakedown, Prepared Patriot. She was all excited.
Yeah.
We talked to Kevin Dixie with No Other Choice. He just moved to Atlanta, so he's not too far. So maybe we could do something.
Yeah.
Chris Phillips, who owns Red Hill Range, amazing host. Maybe something in the future we can connect there.
Yeah. Spreading the gospel of the gun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was great, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
always a good time.
Good times.
Yeah, so I'm glad we made the trip.
Thank you for driving, man. I'll
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
what, I feel like I've been like chauffeured around today.
Oh man, no worries. Thank you for holding that phone up, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Your arm's gotta be.
All right. Speaking of which, talk to you later.
Later.